Gone are the days where, it's 25 to 40, only metros, gender only female. Currently, actually, you don't need those things. Let me actually tell you where the consumer is.
In fact, we have started to stay away from performance and brand marketing as terminologies. We believe every piece of communication has a job to do, and creating the best piece of communication to do the job and the best way to disseminate it is the only thing that matters.
So we are coming up with solutions for each of these e-com and quick com guys in terms
We are
of
lead generator for lead generator.
yes, we are lead generator for lead generator. Yeah, that's a good one.
Suppose for TV you're planning reach of 3. For online video you have to probably look at a reach of 9. So it's becoming more complex. For us, you can't ignore any of the medium. You have to be present on large format and mass medium as well as a target on a basis of precision and on the basis of behavioral signals, etc.
We are actually doing Secret Life of Teenagers. Now, this is something which is totally built basis our interaction with teenagers based on AI input. So I'm allowing targeting and I'm allowing content, which makes it content to conversion and not just say audience to conversion or platform to conversion.
Hello, everybody. So we are today going to look at multi-screen video planning, and we have a marquee panel here. I have Lakshmi from ZTV, I have Rajiv from Dabur, Priya from Google. We have here Vinod, who is the CEO iProspect.
And we have Vivek Malhotra from the India Today Group.
So let's now start looking at what is the current scenario overall. And let's look at first how this whole pie is expanding. So what we see here is how the advertisers has exploded because of YouTube overall. So Priya, do you want to just take a look and tell us what do you make of this? How do you read this?
We all grew up in the linear TV world. We were used to a single broadcast from a single platform, one to many, and it was a decided schedule on which most people used to watch television. So now they are what we are calling the forest behavior. We are saying consumer is streaming, scrolling, searching, and shopping at the same time, and that's happening across different formats. So they are on mobile screen, they are on connected TV. So consumers are also moving seamlessly from one behavior to the other. I would like to have a personalized content feed for myself, or I would like to have an on-demand content, or I would like to have content on which I can take action. Added to it, the entire creator ecosystem, right? Everybody wants to be a creator. Everybody wants to have a voice. In the YouTube world, you have creators who you trust. Like in our data, almost 88% of people say that they trust the advertiser, the creators on the YouTube platform. They trust the content. So again, you want to be spoken, from not from one way, but places where you can interact and have a two-way conversation with creators.
So what we see here is the whole thing on linear TV versus YouTube, and there's a huge difference in terms of the volume and count of advertisers. Let's now look at what the latest study of Kantar Media Compass tells us in terms of reach of various media. So what we see here is that at an all India level, linear TV is still by far the number one. Yes, close on heels all other digital media, but in sheer numbers, it is still number one. If you look at the Hindi speaking market, what we find is that YouTube has clearly overtaken, and see what is there at the highest level. It's gaming. We do see all kinds of people gaming. So Lakshmi, what is your take on this? How do you read this? And in fact, if you look at South, then in South, linear TV is way ahead.
Yes, YouTube has taken over in certain market, but one needs to look at, are they coming on a daily basis? In certain markets, I would say maybe a Bihar and a UP, yes, YouTube has taken over. But if you look at the way, I would look at linear TV also. If 40 to 45% of them come on a day-to-day basis, on YouTube it is anywhere between 20 to 25% on a day-to-day basis. In South and all the other regional market, purely from a cultural connect point of view, linear TV still is by far the leader. And but in Hindi speaking markets, that's the challenge which one is facing. But hence, we are looking at something called as content tech company. We're moving towards that.
I think, Vivek, you have been, I would say, at the cusp of, linear TV and, digital video in more ways than one. So, can you just give us an overview of how you have seen the whole transition from being an only linear TV to what you are now?
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me here and uh, get into a conversation with people who are on the cutting edge and leading edge of everything that's happening. From, say, a brand custodian or a broadcaster come publisher point of view, we actually have two sides to our business. So, one is the consumer, the other is the buyer or the advertiser. And the reason we call it linear TV is also because we're not just linearly distributing it, but also we were expecting consumer to linearly consume it. Now he's not consuming content linearly. He's on TV at a certain time, he's on a podcast at a certain time, and therefore, from the consumer's point of view, it's very important that I sustainably deliver to him the brand promise in whichever format or platform I am present. It's very important for me to deliver to the buyer on two aspects. One is what is the incremental increase by adding on every other platform of Aajtak, and how do I give him a frequency capping? Because if he gives extra frequency, he is losing money. And if he gives lower frequency, it's not effective. Now, there are many platforms that are not owned by me, but I am present there. And therefore, in those many ways, my role in a media plan has to say, okay, this product or this platform is going to be top of the funnel. This is where I get you to the mid funnel. And this is where Aajtak transforms itself into a bottom funnel play. Now the key goal is to give him a uniform metric where I can show him impact. So it is reach, it is frequency, it's impact, it's identity, it's also our ability. So in a way, we're not calling it just linear TV versus connected TV. The sheer size of the screen actually, sort of allows me to say it's old TV and new TV.
So, can you elaborate a little on old and new TV? Just 2 lines.
So when you're on a mobile device, you're usually looking at one person watching. When you're looking at a big screen size, you're actually looking at co-viewing, which makes the content choice very different. The ability to break news and to get visuals real time on a big screen is far higher. You're not waiting for notifications to come in. The power of TV and the power of content dissemination of the old style TV is now available in the new TV. The reason I call it new TV and not just an extension of old TV is addressability, because that's something that I deliver now, which I wasn't able to deliver at that time. The reason I call it new TV is also because chances of finding a 45 plus on a linear TV are higher, and chances of finding a younger generation on a connected TV is higher.
Yeah. So let's move to the connected TV part of it. Let's also look at how the evolution of connected TV has been, and it has been at the cost of what other medium. So last 5 years have been very significant in terms of how the movement of audiences have been from, say, a pay TV ecosystem, number one, and number two, all the new devices which have been shipped to India. All these new devices came fitted with internet, and now there is a terminology to call these TV sets. It's called fast TV, which is basically
Yes, fast channels.
fast channels, which is free ad supported television.
Yeah.
And so there's one at the one end of the spectrum, you have free to air TV, which is FTA. Then there's fast TV. Then this fast is like within connected TV universe. So what happens is advertisers like us, who's present in approximately 75 to 80% households, all funnels, all levels of funnels are very important. So you have to pick up signals from say on the basis of behavior from people. So you have to look at all kinds of signals and then make a plan. How complex or how simplified is it going to get now?
What we actually do is we're talking about an AV plan. We don't talk about a connected TV plan or a linear TV plan or a fast plan. We talk about an AV plan. It's because India is now a mobile first market. The affordability, accessibility, content, everything is on the device. But having said that, I think, is there a role to play of linear TV? Is there a role to play of CTV? Is there a role of play of mobile? We firmly believe we need to see it from a consumer's lens. And hence, AV planning is something which we always present to the client. Let me take an example. If it's an FMCG, if it's a BFSI as a category, if it's an automobile, I think all of them are looking to reach out to the audiences which are tomorrow going to buy their product at the end of the day. So of course, reach is very, very important. Hence, AV plan allows you to do that incremental reach. And tomorrow, if I want to get into bottom of the funnel, the platforms like mobile, CTV allow me to actually do my audience cohorts better, do my sizing better, do my targeting better. If it's a BFSI client, actually give a lead which can tomorrow get converted. So from an agency's perspective, I think we need to start from looking from a consumer at a center and see how I can do maximum reach with n number of leads or any kind of purchases. If it's an FMCG, you would want to understand what's the purchase which is made end of the month or first week of the month. Hence, can I do at the same time when I'm talking about mass reach, can I also get into, today it allows you to do e-commerce, quick commerce. That's where your audiences are. That's where they're going to buy. And can I reach them and show them the ads, which would be maybe different creatives. The reach creative could be different and the shoppable creatives are completely different. And we've seen that today, Rajiv, to be honest, that consumers behave differently on different platforms completely.
Absolutely. So the follow-up question now to Lakshmi and to Brini. Basically, earlier the planning used to be on the basis of ratings. So you got the ratings and then you planned and said, okay, this is what I'm doing now. So have we moved completely away from rating-based planning to algorithm-based planning? And are ratings going to disappear in planning forever?
To be frank, we've not yet moved. The agencies are still stuck with ratings or the reach which one is talking about. But having said that, as an organization, at least we've started moving towards, like he said, what is your brand wants, what are their objective, and hence delivering solution which is across, if needed, across platform. If I don't have, can I pick it up, buy it from somewhere else and offer it, so that there is a complete end-to-end solution being provided. But we should, I would say, move towards where we're talking about eCam, which is still not happening because of various reasons. But we're seeing a slow change which is happening. Like, for example, Hindustan Levers is big for a linear TV, has come up with asking for solutions for a basic red label tea or a Tata Taj tea or a Moti soap, saying in Maharashtra market, how do I cut ice? And all we've done, a simple example being red label with a music video to connect with the audience. Nothing to do with linear. Of course, we amplified it little bit on linear or social or reels and so on and so forth. But it was a music video thought idea which clicked.
Coming to Priya now. Earlier, you worked on the agency side as well, So in good old days, we used to call something called as PT, which used to be prime time. Now PT remains the same, but it's become more of a personal time. So I choose to watch or consume media as per my convenience in my own personal time. What's been your experience and what do you think?
You spoke about connected TV. So let me start with connected TV. I think it's a great balance between what we call personalized content and a little more family-based, living room kind of content. Connected TV is actually our fastest growing surface. YouTube is the largest platform on streaming at the moment, and we are seeing great traction there. And like Vinod rightly spoke about, it is also a platform where you can interact and take action. Kia, for example, you know, did an ad in which they utilized the QR code and they saw amazing results. 3.6 times the uplift that they would have seen on a normal creative. So connected TV, first as a surface, I think brings a good balance, and it also makes it shoppable. People are watching shorts on connected TV. And, that's the short form video that has completely transcended what we thought is going to be a mobile phenomena to connected TV. People are taking action in between. Like you beautifully said, sometimes it's just creator-led interaction. So it's not even an ad. When we speak to our advertisers, now we speak about outcomes and we talk about the AI formats that are going to reach that outcome. For example, if you want reach, then we talk about video reach campaigns. If you're indexing on views, then we say view campaigns. And then there are, of course, multiple AI campaigns like performance max, demand gen, etc., which make you, deliver the outcome that you're looking for. So we are very fast moving from these currencies to an outcome-based currency. Our advertisers are moving as well.
So, coming to the regional part now. So, what one has seen is that the TV penetration, the good old TV penetration, has always been very high in South. And despite internet and proliferation of YouTube and OTTs, etc., what one has seen is that TV ratings of none of these markets have gone down at all. Apart from these 4 southern markets, or now 5, if you have to take 2 markets of Andhra plus Telangana, 5 southern markets plus 2 markets on 2 left and side rights of India, which is Maharashtra and West Bengal, and then take Orissa, take Punjab a little bit. These 8 markets, are these still media isolatable, and can we still target? So we'll break this in 2 parts. One is on a broadcast side, what changes have you seen with respect to the viewer behavior, and on YouTube, and what has been the change from the creator side? Like what I am exposed to is mostly creators in Hindi, etc. But what has happened in South? Has South and other regional markets, are they as strong as Hindi market, or is there like way to go up?
Yeah. So firstly, I want to say that the television penetration in southern markets has always been strong. Like we said, YouTube penetration is also very high in these markets. So they are very evolved media markets. The second point is that YouTube content is 95% of the content is regional. So it's in Hindi language and it's there in multiple southern languages and multiple Indian languages actually. So that's the other part. There is somebody called Sidhu Vlogs who creates content in Tamil language. Every single video of his gets 3 million views, which is comparable to any Hindi creator. So that's just one example I'm talking about. You would have seen Bihari Ladka. Like he's a sensation. If you have not seen it, you must see. So there are regional nano micro influencers who are coming up and are, I would say, even stronger in the region that they belong to, and just in terms of pure views and reach, they are as strong as Hindi creators. So the behavior that we are seeing is of strong regionalization, and I would say, from a YouTube perspective, it's Hindi and all the regional languages that exist in India.
Yeah, the point I would want to add on to her is largely it is deep-rooted culture, which is what they are seeking in the content which they are. And hence, if you look at from a television point of view, why is it still sustaining is purely because almost 17 to 18 hours original content gets played. It's unlike in a Hindi scenario where you have only a prime time. Until about maybe a couple of years back, it was all the brands talking Hindi and then dubbing it in regional language. They want the brands to talk in their language, in their, if their festivals, they connect with those.
So that's exactly what we have also seen.
That's a big difference, and they are seeking for content which is aspirational. They are no longer, gav ka rural discussion. No, they are pretty forward looking. If you look at some of the fiction series which are there, they are like far ahead of time. Forget fiction, even movies I think are ahead of time as compared to what we used to see कि हिंदी markets में हो रहा है.
What do you think, Vinod, in terms of creator economy, how have you been able to leverage it for the regional influencers? And
I think just to add, I guess like Priya and Lakshmi actually said, is this is economy which is here to stay, and lots of our brands are now looking at micro, macro, nano kind of influencers. It's all about how can you do hyper personalization, right? If you're talking about certain markets which the brand has as a P0 or a P1 market, and if you know that these kinds of influencers actually exist, and these are huge following, for them to have a Bihar following of, let's say, 3 million, it's a huge following. But in Bihar, 3 million itself is a huge following. For example, in South, for example, in West Bengal, for example, even in Maharashtra, if you have to go to these local micro, nano influencers, I think most of our brands today are looking for at least give us top 5, top 7, top 10 influencers where we can talk to them. And the best part is they actually talk about your product and how can you use. So the FAQs, the other thing is they also maybe, I won't say push, but also maybe somewhere take you to a buying side. So they will tell you that, okay, if you want to try this pack, take this discount, click here. So that's also a kind of e-commerce, or they call up social commerce nicely being bundled. So for a brand, it makes a lot of sense. I've seen digital first launches, and I've seen digital first launches with influencers being part of it and then taking into larger advertising and other things. So.
And I would just add that even the large advertisers, at least what we are seeing is, and you'll be surprised, they're coming with asks of 10,000 and 15,000 micro nano beauty influencers in a specific region. So they're looking for trends at that point in time, and what can they do from beauty perspective, from apparel perspective. So I would say this market is very, very deep, and it's getting only, we're just getting started, I would say.
The way I look at it, Rajiv, is broadly. You have at the one end the channel deliverables, okay, which is reach, connectivity, the engagement, which the channel will deliver. That is at the one end. Then you have the extreme, is where you are looking at some kind of an outcome, which as a business person, you are looking at outcome, and your role now is changed. You are actually giving sales leads, You are not just into marketing. And then the mid end, I think, is some kind of a research or evaluation. I'm just trying to simplify 3 broad buckets. Okay. So how do you look at it? How will you start? Where will you put the whole thing together?
if you look at penetration of most of our bigger brands, like you will find at least 80% of the households, at least one of the Dabur products is present. Some brands have penetration to the tune of about 50-55%, like oral care brand. But so these are the like big brands, big categories, which are like 10,000, 14,000 categories. And penetration of these categories are also very strong. Like oral care is like 90% plus, hair oil is 90% plus. So for every category, what happens is you have a different custom-made solution you have to work out. For a brand like Honey, which is present only in 20% households, you want to increase the penetration of that category into much higher number of households, so that your quick commerce is giving you solution. They're getting signal from Meta, they're marrying the signals, and you're getting a solution, and you are able to target those people and quickly convert whatever signals into sales. That is one solution. Second is you are trying to get some signal from the market and try to improve on the consideration side. That's second level. And third is mass advertising, where you go and you talk to everybody, so that you are there at the back of the mind somewhere, and you reach out to the newer consumers. Otherwise, how do you recruit new consumers? Okay. And these new consumers are not only present only on television only. They are present everywhere. They're present. I mean, if you go through an influencer route, you talk to a Gen Z. You go through a shorts route, you talk to a different set of audience. you go to a free-to-air household, nobody talks, just another 55 million households in the
Absolutely,
country.
absolutely.
There is a pay TV universe, which is about 100 million in the country, which is declining, but still there. Then there is a CTV universe, which is anywhere between 55 and 75 million. So that can't be ignored at all. So you have to look at combination of these three. The now thing is that how do you plan and how do you measure it? But the reach, the way it is looked at in TV is different than what you look at in say online. So suppose for TV you're planning reach of 3. For online video you have to probably look at a reach of 9. So it's becoming more complex. For us, you can't ignore any of the medium. You have to be present on large format and mass medium as well as a target on a basis of precision and on the basis of behavioral signals, etc.
Okay, so Vinod, now how will you react to this complex brief that he has said? I have multiple products, I have different objectives, different TG everywhere. I want, many things for one. So how would you kind of break this down in terms of steps? Let's say for a mid-level planner, how would you guide the person?
So these planners don't exist right now. We have to create them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another
No,
problem.
I think Rajiv said it absolutely right. There is CTV and there is a role of CTV. There is mobile, there is internet, there is fast TV and paid TV, and there is a role of paid TV, and then there is mass. I need to make sure that I am maybe top of mind when he's actually wanting to buy, he clicks and he buys. Currently, are we at algorithm area? I would say 100%, because currently the kind of AI and the kind of disruption which is happening in the market. So tomorrow you could actually through programmatic buy linear TV. Currently we are talking about influencers gets paid when they are showcasing your product. But what if we talk about performance based influencers? So that's another model which we will come up with. From a full funnel, when we are talking about mass to bottom of the funnel, can I actually map the entire flow and say that, okay, you invested on television, which was $100, and then you came into digital, which was, let's say, $100, and then this is the total kind of revenue or sales which you've got on $200. Is that currently available? The answer is no. There are lots of break-in measurements also. For example, I don't have a one view on digital. There are wall gardens. If tomorrow an advertiser tells me that this is a top of mind share and I want to increase my awareness, I will do a different kind of a planning versus when my advertiser tells me that, VT, I want to get into sales, I may do a completely different media plan. And currently, am I doing it? The answer is yes. And gone are the days where, it's 25 to 40, only metros, gender only female. Currently, actually, you don't need those things. Let me actually tell you where the consumer is. You can do audience cohorting. You can actually size the audience by the kind of handset, the year of handset it has, the travel history, international, not international, the kind of transaction history what the person is doing. You have an affluent audience there. Or you can also talk basis content preferences, different kinds of things, Shripad. It all depends on how you sharply give the brief and how can I work backwards on the media plan and come back. But it's equal partnership where we also go back and present saying that, how do you think this could look like? And let's test it out. And most of the advertisers, and category wise is different, completely different. And FMCG works completely different than BFSI, for example, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned two very important points. One you said is that the audience behavior, and we have a lot more parameters in terms of audience behavior. And second is the audience which is in market to buy into our category. These two are very big, determinants in planning and doing what you're doing. So that brings me to this whole thing on AI and data. So Priya, if you can give a bigger picture of where are we on AI and data in the context of marketing communication? Where do you see it going? Where are we?
When we speak to our advertisers, the only thing we are interested in is what is the KPI that they want to drive, and we go back to the table and we design campaigns which are able to deliver to that KPI. So it's not about YouTube or Google search or our other platforms. It's about how do you deliver singularly to that KPI. And if you look at any campaign of ours, whether we look at, like I said, fully automated, fully AI campaigns like Performance Max, or if we look at, video first campaigns that we have like Demand Gen, all of them have the singular objective of using AI in a manner in which you can deliver your customer KPI to the best possible fashion. So there is a lot more available for our creators to be able to create in a more automated fashion. Editing has become easy, dubbing has become easy, translation has become easy at the press of a button. So AI has actually given what we were doing superpowers. That's the way I look at it, generative AI. So we say that, we were always an AI first company and Gen AI has given us superpowers, and we are, this is like AI on steroids. So we were always, rooted in AI, and now we have become, we have even more tools to be able to drive this revolution forward.
So, Vinod, question to you from FMCG perspective. Like, we used to talk about split of monies between TV versus digital at one point of time. Then, these poor cord cutters came, now why poor cord cutters? Because now nobody talks about them at all. CTVs become so big, such a huge chunk. So, in terms of allocation of money, what is your advice to a FMCG player specifically? And then you can talk about other clients of yours. What should be the right mix, or is there right mix at all which exists right now?
So Rajiv, I don't know whether that's the right answer. It actually depends on the brief. So there was this thing saying that the media mix on an FMCG should be 70-30, 70% or maybe 80-20, 80 or 70% towards TV and the next 20 or 30% towards digital. Currently, as I see, then it came about 50-50 as a media mix. I in fact see on certain categories, to be honest, it's 70-30 on the other side. It's 70% digital and 30% because of the bottom of the funnel, because of outcome-based marketing, because of e-commerce and D2C brands, for example. It was actually 100-0 or 90-10. I'm talking 90 to or 100 towards digital. But as they grow, I think Lakshmi made this point, as they grow, they also need a brick and mortar support. So it may not be only media, it could be activation. It could be out of home. It could be large impact properties which they want to show. There are certain BFSI clients which are 70-30 or 80-20 on digital because it allows you to do segmenting, it allows you to do targeting, it allows you to do hyper personalization, it allows you to give leads. And now with AI, it allows you to actually replace your call center agent. If a brand wants to launch, there would be a different kind of a launch awareness plan, and hence I would feel there should be a larger towards offline than digital. If a brand is in a journey of consideration and sales, I would incline towards a lot towards digital. But if you talk about complete media mix, we're talking about out of home, we're talking about activation, we're talking about print, we're talking about other mediums as well. But yet I think digital, the way it has been, it will always now will play a lion's share than what it was 4 or 5 years back.
Priya, question to you. Performance marketing versus mass advertising. Where does brand love go? I mean, if you want to create a brand love, what does one do? I mean, what is the advice to the FMCG marketeers?
In fact, we have started to stay away from performance and brand marketing as terminologies. We believe every piece of communication has a job to do. And creating the best piece of communication to do the job and the best way to disseminate it is the only thing that matters. AI-led campaigns actually are far more, useful because they rely on AI to be able to deliver the best outcome rather than typically to every advertiser we say, please experiment and see what is the sweet spot for you, because like everybody said, different categories, different advertisers, a different stage of life, different objectives.
Let's ask Vivek this question. Vivek, what do you think?
If you have, let's say, a baseline study like we were talking about the Media Compass study, you have a little bit of a baseline, and then there are some factors coming in that CTV penetration, rural is also very good. So that CTV is not just top of the pyramid. CTV could well be bottom of the pyramid plus top of the pyramid. Once you have the baseline, then we try and find a lowest common denominator, whether it is viewability or let's say for a moment, I do an event specific thing. Let's say it's a counting day, or let's say it's a sports event, or even something as simple as 9 o'clock. Anjana does something called Vichardhara. It's just one thing which is about an ideology. And I say, okay, Bark is giving me so much concurrency on pay TV household, so much concurrency on free TV household. At the same time, Vichardhara also goes on to my YouTube stream. Now, YouTube biggest on CTV. So at one, and I mean, I can add my app, and then I can add my MWeb, and then I can, put it on my fast channel on Samsung, and you go to various OEMs. Now, at any point in time, I go to Rajiv and take data from Priya and give you a concurrency of 1 million concurrents at 9 o'clock on Anjana's show. And I create a media plan for you. Okay, this is my concurrency. And I bring a baseline where you can actually check the numbers through a dashboard.
Rajiv, if I have to take one of the questions which you were talking about on the measurement part, I love that question. And Lakshmi spoke about how agencies and other people. But if I could just put a point here is when you're talking about measurement, we're coming with measurement of, let's say, TV, we have GRPs and top rating programs and other things. But now with the digital inflection and the social commerce, video commerce, e-commerce and other things, I think it's not about only the advertisers, agencies or publishers. It's about the entire ecosystem needs to sit together and say what should be that sweet spot about measurement. We are only going to grow.
Exactly.
And we have seen lots of TV channels coming up with pause and play and click and shoppable because they've seen CTV and mobile doing that. If they don't, come together, they will lose that.
One very interesting thing which had come up in one of our earlier podcasts was looking at this world panel. Now, this is not a plug for Kantar because that's the only real panel which is ongoing, where essentially they can track what is happening in the household for your category. So if you have that as a full track, then you can align to it your studies, align to it all your other data, and then you can kind of customize and modify it and keep figuring out what has changed, So in a sense, if you have some ongoing track of what is happening in households as far as your category is concerned, then you can, it's a good link to go towards outcomes, So, Lakshmi, we can now, you can come back and tell us about your 5 C's, you said?
6 C's.
6 C's, sorry, 6 C's. Can tell us about 6 C's.
So if consumer is at the core, from a brand perspective, my objective would be to understand what the context he is operating in, what is his mindset. So consumer is the first C. The second is the context in which he is operating in. What kind of content he is then consuming. It could be on my linear soaps, or it could be a reels or a music video, followed by characters who are connecting with. Like he said, trust becomes a very critical element. Now brands have moved towards, influencer led content, which in our words we've coined it as dillfluencer, because they're connecting with my consumers are connecting with my influencers on a daily basis through their heart. That's the fourth character. And then there is connected across various platforms. So my solution is across platform. And the last bit not to forget is the commerce, where I'm saying what is the ROI the brand is getting. But that's the objective with which we are going to our advertiser now, or a brand's communication, what they want to do. So we've come up with something called as Bullet, which is a 1-minute video, which is vertical. So as an organization, or a micro series within OTT. So we are moving away from not just doing web series, but micro series, which are 7-episode series, which we are looking at how do I get onto my television platform also.
You want to talk of your, I think you had done some tie up with Amagi and you are coming up with
we've just about launched 5 fast channels, which we are looking at. We're saying there is a huge library which we have. We have about 8-10 lakh hours of content with us. And there are audience who have not seen our content. There might be some who have seen it. But hence, can I create content for them and place it on the various OEMs which are coming? So we've created horror content or your comedy content spaces. We have about close to 4,000 movies in our library. So can I dub the South movies into Hindi and showcase them? So we've come up with 5 fast channels in conjunction with Amagi and Samsung, LG, Xiaomi. It's just about going to start takeoffs.
Vivek, if you can just add a little, since you are discussing on AI, about your Sana and other initiatives, if you can just throw a little light.
Yeah. So it's been an exciting journey for us, and Sana obviously was the first to interview the PM as an AI anchor, and those were early days. Now we actually have an array of influencers. So we've launched 3 pop stars. One is on the genre of romance, the other one is rap, and the third one is sort of a mixed party pop star. And the way AI is coming through is on 2 parts. One is generative AI, where you're actually using it for creative and for example, also training it on all the archives of 50 years. Let's say you picked up an LLM model and started asking questions. Now, assume that I do a RAG on it with 50 years of archive data, and then you're totally 100% foolproof, non-fake news. It's true news. So every third or fourth week, when we look at a digital magazine issue, we realize people are coming back to archives so frequently, which was never expected. So therefore, I can give him a geographic, I can give him a demographic, I can give him, even his tastes in terms of politics or entertainment. We're actually doing a secret life of teenagers. Now, this is something which is totally built basis our interaction with teenagers based on AI input. Now we do a research, it automatically gets converted into an AI summary, and the top questions and spaces that these consumers, the upmarket teenagers, are thinking about gets collected, gets converted into a podcast, and then it gets pushed out with audience affinities across all social media. This is the concept, and here I'm going to, through AI, target this to the audience, because I've collected also enough data on the audience set. So I'm allowing targeting, and I'm allowing content, which makes it content to conversion and not just say audience to conversion or platform to conversion. So we'd want to add the power to the other 2 powers that exist here so that we can create a win-win.
Great. So, Lakshmi, as a group, what is it? What are the various new things that you have on offer for the festive season? You can just summarize in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. Uh, from a group point of view, there is a host of content pieces which we are looking at across market, which is largely IP-led, non-fiction content, which is earlier we used to have maybe only on weekend, but now we are looking at through the week. So those content pieces will be wherein we will have anchor-led, if somebody is looking at performance-led advertising, then anchor-led QR codes is what we are focusing on, which would help, if the anchor is trustworthy, then they believe that, okay, there is whatever you are talking about from a brand point of view is, they will want to at least try it out. So from a performance sales point of view, this is one of the offering which we will go whole hog in terms of performance led. The QR code will continue to be on the screen for a larger duration. The other important thing which we are coming up is content to commerce space, which we are talking to e-com platforms, and content to commerce will then be, you can actually put your products into the cart and start the sales bit altogether. The third is all your e-commerce clients, despite they being digital, are heavy on television during this period. So they have a lot of requirement in terms of how to connect. They are actually 3 times higher on television during this, because sale is something which they also thrive upon, and sale is what because of your mass reach TV delivers. So we are coming up with solutions for each of these e-com and quick com guys in terms
We are
of
lead generator for lead generator.
yes, we are lead generator for lead generator. Yeah, that's a good one. So this is where we are, and obviously using our entire ecosystem of influencers or influencers to uh, connect with our audience right from day one. From the storyline itself, we will weave in their brand stories, brands need, not just about performance led, but also brand story which can be viewed within the content itself. So this is something which we are opening up across brands.
Okay. Priya, you want to talk of what are the big things that you are now coming up this festive season?
We tell our advertisers, "Are you taiyar for Tyohar?" So that's our internal branding that we do for festival as well.
Nice.
So there are three things basically we are asking our advertisers to do. One is ensure that you're driving impact. So you're present on all the high impact properties that we have and are driving impact with creators. But this is about YouTube mastheads. This is about first position on shorts. All our high impact properties, we have a package on creating impact. So there are 35 content IPs that we have with our creators that are available for advertisers to pick and choose as well. The second, what we are saying is make everything shoppable. Now, our biggest prime property is shoppable as well. So how are you present on everything that is shoppable with the right creatives and the right measurement in place so that you're able to track it? That's the second big piece. Rajiv, you spoke about some thing you call partnership ads. So we also have something called Commerce Media Network, wherein you could take, specific, brands and drive them towards outcomes on quick commerce platforms. We have now scaled it with quite a few commerce platforms as well as advertisers. So that's one big piece on making everything shoppable for us. And the third thing we are saying is supercharge your creators with AI. So there could be bigger pieces like I spoke about, which is VO3, Imagen, etc. But there could also be many smaller pieces that you could do, which is ensuring that your feeds are in place, you're pulling in the right feeds in Product Studio so that you're able to have personalization at scale for your advertisers.
We've also realized that experiential matters a lot. So we started off with Madurai this weekend, wherein almost 10 to 15,000 people were present on ground and brands came on. So we are going to every smaller tier 2, tier 3 towns.
We would love to do this, go to these contact terms.
Contact terms and all. So that's something which we are going on, experiential. The other important thing which we will be doing is, starting off with Ramayan, we are doing the experiential zone in Ayodhya, wherein you actually enter that zone and, if there is, you want to enter a war zone, Ramayan ke through, then you enter there and then feel it and you are part of it. And that we will be taking across various markets. So that's something which is new from a ground point of view.
Right, it's a quote as well. There's another place.
Yeah, we will.
We
We
do the activations of.
So, Vinod, what innovations are you looking at in the video space? Is there anything specific you see? Do you see anything new happening? Anything big?
What will happen is on one platform, on one DSP, you could actually buy linear, CTV, mobile, and the first thing which I said on the incremental reach curve or the measurement, because it's on one platform, we started with the 60-second, 45-second, 20-second, 30-second, then came bumper, 6-second, short formats, and other things. I guess now is the time where we need to also make sure that because of AI, maybe it's not about only having 2 or 3 creators, but today we are talking because of DCO. I think it's about getting mass productions at, with hyper personalization, as well as because we've seen the difference between when you see a creative A, which was English led or maybe a Hindi led. And today, when we get into vernacular and we talk about different kinds of creatives to the same kind of audiences, that's something which is gaining a lot of traction.
Vivek, you want to add anything in terms of what do you have any specific offering if you have for the festive season?
The big change this year is the streaming. It's the connected devices feed where we feel we're going to be putting in a lot of effort. The other is that we're also looking at cross-pollinating a lot of products, because there are some brands that come in with an impact building brief where TV sort of takes charge and the rest of the products build conversation. I see a lot of CMOs, a lot of my friends who are very interested in doing something new, whether it's in the space of animation, in the space of interactivity, whether it's gamifying something, where the new products or the digital first products actually hold the center and the rest of the stuff builds frequency. It's not very simple. I mean, there is now unsold inventory, there is now sort of over-indexed metro sales and the rural sales not catching up. So it's very complicated, multi-dimensional challenges, and therefore, what we are going to do is to bring multi-dimensional solutions to each one of these.
Lakshmi, one question to you. Like I'm really impressed. Although I meet a lot of people, but the kind of depth you guys had into and the way you guys are using tech in understanding consumers and reaching out to them on the ground, plus not leaving any stone unturned and looking at any new audiences, etc. Specifically in South, these 4 markets of South. How do you see the growth of television in going years? Is it going to go up, or is it like kind of going to get stagnated, or you're going to lose some audiences to the digital and catch them there? But from TV, are you seeing any shifts?
What we do is we have something called as soul to screen. So we actually get down to understanding in every market who the consumer, what they want to watch, and what is it that, having done that research, we've come back with content, and we are seeing that there is a traction. They've come back. The reach percentage is increasing, irrespective of whether they are on digital or TV. I think the content matters, and if you are able to give them that good content, or the content which resonates with them, they will come back to you on a day-to-day basis. South becomes very South or West Bengal is purely because there are smaller markets culturally, unlike a Hindi market, which is large, and you don't know whom to cater to, what kind. In every regional market, that strength is there, wherein you can actually connect with them in their space.
Yeah. So from content to format now to Vivek now. Last question, Vivek. I think Aaj Tak and your network of TV today has been there in every kind of format one can imagine, right? And started with magazine and moved to television, and from television to different formats. Short format, long format. London Top is like an example of something which I follow a lot. I don't watch news, unfortunately. My parents, in fact, they used to watch news earlier. Now they have completely moved to podcast format of viewing on television. What do you think is future now? I mean, from here, what is next? I mean, if you're sitting in this room next year and talking to you, Vivek.
So what it gives you is that you can actually correlate between the different products. The beauty of the India Today Group is that somebody sitting here at India Today Group could actually use YouTube consumption as a predictor for TV ratings. When we meet next year, what we would have aced, or at least what we would have understood better, is how do we stop looking at Aaj Tak or any of our brands, including Business Today, London Top, as a brand compartmentalized on our platform, but as brands that are a continuum.
But it was a great experience co-hosting this along with you, Shripat. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I am going back with a lot of learning from each one of you, Vinod, Priya, and I would like to watch this podcast when it's ready, and then probably show it to a lot of people, just for the learning sake.
In fact, that was the whole idea. When I started this, when I thought of this, I just felt that everybody is doing something definitive. No, that's what I figured, because you are on a super fast treadmill, but you are constantly experimenting with something. You are doing something new. We are all learning everything. So, and that's been my experience, and which is why I thought that just get people who have different shall I call agenda. It's a learning for everybody. It's a master class. And more than anything, it's a real-time update, friends. So thank you so much, all of you. Lovely, wonderful having you all here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek.
And thanks to Rajiv for making everybody feel so comfortable.